The schedule came out today. I think I actually got it right here. Let me just let me see if we can do it like this. Okay, boom, bam, boom, bam.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, there you go. There you go. Okay, these graphics are courtesy of the Canucks. I don't know if I'll get in trouble for this, but hey, let's just have some fun here. Okay, go through every month. Let us know in the comments what game you're looking forward to. We'll start with October, and there's only one obvious one here, and it's not game one.
Yeah. This one's easy, man. This one's easy. It's the Pittsburgh Penguins road game. No, I'm kidding. It's definitely the JT Miller return to Rogers Arena on Tuesday, October 28th. And Kyle, who's gonna fight JT Miller? And tell me it's not Evander Kane.
No, it's Evander Kane. Trust me, man. Evander Kane can put himself on the hockey map once again when he defends Elias Pettersson. Okay? And I know Tyler Myers said, yo, it's not a big deal. The media made it a bigger. Why did Tyler Myers, man? Come on, man. Come on. We didn't do anything. The fans didn't do anything. Miller and Pettersson did it all. So I think Evander Kane knows it. He's a student of the game, and UFA season. You know what I'm saying? He defends, quote unquote, defends Elias Pettersson's honor and goes toe to toe with JT Miller on October 28th on a Tuesday. It's main character energy, and it'll fill up his ego. I think he'll like that.
You know what would be even better than that would be an Elias Pettersson reverse hit on JT Miller.
Ooh. Okay, you know what? You're a good dad, right? Look at me. I've never been punched in the face in a real fight, only in a ball hockey fight. But here I am asking for a bout between Evander Kane and JT Miller. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. But I've said this many times. I grew up on the WWE Todd Bertuzzi versus Steve Moore and South Park. Okay, so I need to go to therapy so I can just, ease up. Okay. Anyways, the month after that, what do we got here? Boom, bam. November, December. We'll start with November. Anything stand out here? To be honest, I'm gonna say this. Look at the end of November. You got the LA Kings, and that's a little bit past American Thanksgiving and whatnot. And I don't know that. Who are the Vancouver Canucks? And I think at that point we'll find out, and they're going to play the Kings, and we'll be talking about the standings. We'll be talking about both their positions in the West, and to us that could be a marquee game.
Yeah, I think that's not a bad choice. I think for me in November, I'm looking at the Florida Panthers. I mean, the Canucks they swept the Florida Panthers last season. I think they're like 4-0 against Florida in the last couple of seasons, which is odd considering they've been the best team in the NHL. The Canucks, again, last season was one of their MOs. They kind of sucked against middling to bad teams and were good against good teams. And that's going to be a tough one, second end of a back-to-back against the defending cup champs. I want to see the Canucks bring it there. And, if they can bring it and have a good record at that point, you're going to feel a lot better about their prospects next season at that point. And heading into December, it stands out to me. This isn't even a marquee matchup. No, I was looking at the Boston game in Boston. I mean, the Bruins always mean something to the Vancouver Canucks.
How about Rick Tocchet?
That's the game right there. December 30th. Quit Tocchet back to Vancouver. That is the game of December right there. Rick Tocchet returning to Rogers Arena.
And obviously he's going to get a round of applause. Jack Adams winner. Thank you very much. But it would be beautiful if Rick Tocchet was 47 points out of a playoff spot, right? And we were second in the Pacific at the time of that matchup, right? End of the year, and Rick Tocchet can look at himself in the mirror and be like, okay, what happened here? Did I make the right decision? A lot of reflecting. I'm actually looking at that game against San Jose, though, because, bro, I'm starting to believe that Celebrini could be, I don't want to say like guaranteed better than Bedard, but on that level of generational. And I think he's going to get a lot better this season. And San Jose at some parts are going to be like must see because of him alone. And I think they're going to be in the fight for the first half of the season. There's going to be some dialogue around like, oh, you better watch out for San Jose. Could they squeak in? And then afterwards, we're going to talk about, the Canucks better win ASAP because San Jose's coming. And again, they got Macklin Celebrini and the BC connection, Trevor. Like we don't talk about this much, and maybe we will at the end of December. But Bedard and Celebrini, right, a couple years ago, boom, bam, back-to-back first overall picks from the hood, and damn, bro, that's that West Coast tap water.
Gotta love it, man. The West Coast tap water, man. It's it tastes way better here than it does in Australia. I'll tell you that much, man.
There you go. Okay, now we got January and February coming up. January. Okay, I'm looking at this. Easy one's the Maple Leafs game, but come on, the Devils. The second game against the Devils of the year. It's a Friday night. The Hughes thingy.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one right there. I know we got the Oilers the week before that, but I feel like the Devils become the Canucks' biggest rivals.
In a sense, yes. No, I think it's still the Oilers. And for me, like I know the Canucks played the Oilers early on in the season, but you get to the midway point, the Olympic break's coming up. I think that's again a good barometer for the Canucks at the midway point of the season to see how they match up against the team in Edmonton that's been the champion of the West in the last 2 seasons. But yeah, those are the 2 top games for me for sure. And nice they get an 8-game homestand there, man. You don't see that too many years.
Yeah, I think they got 2 8-game homestands, which could be honestly the worst thing ever for the Canucks, considering they sucked at home ice last year. Yo, bro, I still haven't gotten my extra $25 back for them charging me twice for the 2 beers I bought.
Wow.
I know. Come on, Aquilini, dude. Come on. What's going on? Come on, dude. Anyways, February. There's only 4 games in February. We got the Olympics, and this sounds crazy, a little crazy. But I just want to ask you the question, okay? Because, again, we're talking about the little details and us dreaming a bit. But who has a better chance of making Team America, Team USA? Both have a slim chance, but Brock Besser or Connor Garland?
Yeah, I think it's Brock Besser because of name cachet. But yeah, I think it's slim for both of them because just based on how the USA made their team at the 4 nations, they wanted like those physical defensive guys. Like that's what they have Brock Nelson and Chris Kreider over what was it like Cole Caulfield and Jason Robertson. So, I mean, maybe they've learned from their mistake, but I think if either of those guys are going to get picked, it's probably Brock Besser.
And
I think the big question to me is Thatcher Demko going to be one of the 2 goalies?
That's the easy one.
That's the big question.
That's the easy one. That was just me tricking you, like, trying to get into this. Like, who's actually the second most important forward on the Canucks? Is it Garland or Besser? I'm high on Garland, but yeah, is Demko going to be one of the starters for Team USA? Yeah, I hope he is because that means the Canucks are actually on pace for like 105 points, and we can start watching meaningful hockey again and drinking beer at the bar and helping the economy out and keeping Quinn Hughes.
Exactly, man. Connor Hellebuyck may be the reigning Hart champion, but look at his playoff save percentage versus Thatcher Demko.
Ooh, okay. What's Demko's clutch playoff save percentage again? Isn't it like 975 or something?
It was 974, I want to say. Yeah.
I know it's only 5 games. Yeah. Anyways, March and April, let's end things off and end the show. In March, look at the end of March. Okay, Calgary. I talked about Calgary. What 2 days ago, and Trevor, answer me this: the Canucks fans and the organization should not sleep on the Calgary Flames because, in my opinion, they're competition. They're competition. They were in every game last year. They actually played as a team. Yeah, they were super boring and didn't score a lot of goals, but they battled game in and game out. Dustin Wolf, if he backs up his rookie season with another good one, the Calgary's going to be another tough out. And remember, they were 6 points better than us last year. So don't sleep on the Calgary Flames. That could be one of the biggest matchups going into April. I
mean, but honestly, I see where you're coming from, but like, which teams are you sleeping on, or does like everyone have a chance? Because this is Gary Bettman's NHL. Like, there's parity aplenty. Like outside of like Chicago and San Jose, I guess it kind of feels like every team has a shot.
No, it does.
And Nashville too, I guess. Yeah,
it does feel like that. But I think for whatever reason, the more and more we talk about the Canucks and how, like, oh, last year again, it was a Jerry Springer like environment in that room. Like no ish, they weren't going to win, and all the injuries and whatnot. Again, everyone was getting hurt for real, and everyone's like, okay, well, that's not going to happen, and we're going to be this defensive juggernaut against the best D in the city at Rogers Arena. Don't let your girlfriend know about that. We got this, right? We can compete with LA and maybe get that 3rd spot and blah blah blah. But it's like, dude, don't forget about Calgary. Don't forget about, Seattle and St. Louis and the wild card stuff again. But I just specifically am looking at Calgary, and I'm like, something tells me that the energy is right there, and they're going to compete hard again. And they got Zane Parekh coming in. And everyone talks about our defense, but Rasmus Anderson, Mackenzie Weegar, Zane Parekh, at their best, that could be scary. like Calgary to me is still going to be a tough out next season.
Yep, I could see it them being a wild card team again. I could see them bottoming out next year too, right?
Yeah.
Like they just don't have a lot of talent up front compared to almost everyone else in the Western Conference. The game for me in March, and this might surprise you, but I'm going to St. Louis Blues. I mean, that was a team last season. Obviously, they kind of like killed the Canucks playoff vibes, right? That overtime win, that intense game towards the end of the season. They obviously came out of nowhere on that crazy run. You know, I expect them to be kind of back in the mix again. So that could be like a wild card battle right there on March 21st. The Blues facing the Canucks at Rogers Arena. And then I'm looking in April, and a couple of games stand out to me. The Mammoth game, like that's a team I think that could be battling the Canucks for a wild card spot. But I'm going to go with that first Kings game. The Canucks, 2 of their last 5 games against the LA Kings. The first on April 9th in Los Angeles. If the Canucks are going to make noise in the Pacific Division, look, the Kings, I think, from everybody's eyes, got a little bit weaker. That's a team that could, you know, the Canucks could overtake if you're starting to feel a little bit confident in this team at all, or less confident in the Kings. And there's 4 points on the line there with the Kings and Canucks over the final 5 games of the season.
Damn. I just looked at that too. That's something else. We also got the Oilers to finish things off in April. And game 82. I mean, let's be honest, Trevor. There's a small chance that game 82 is the one that gets us into the playoffs. And if that's against the Oilers, bro, that's pretty much my Stanley Cup final, man. That's what it is, man. Hey,
we'll be shotgun of beers for sure if that's the case.
Keep Quinn Hughes, man. Let's just play meaningful games, and it's cool, man. Seeing the schedule come out, I didn't know this was going to be the case, but I'm kind of looking forward to summer finishing out here, so we can just get back to watching games and seeing if, like, the Jerry Springer stuff that happened in the room and whatnot, the Maury Povich stuff, that the soap operas that was happening in the room was actually the reason, right? The reason why we couldn't get things done and have success. Like, I wonder if we're right on that, because if we are, you know, this hockey team led by good goaltending and one of the best players in the game, we're going to find success, man. Like, I'm not doubting Quinn Hughes' ability to not win games back-to-back years in a row based on how he plays and how he leads. And again, if that's backed up with really good goaltending, I want to see some winning hockey games, man. Remember the start of last year, how bad it was? And you could just tell?
Yeah.
This team wasn't a team. I'm excited to watch the Canucks again, okay? Not a bunch of individuals.
Hey, man, I've always said there's no better escapism than just, you know, going nose deep into sports, man. And for me, it's definitely going nose deep into your Vancouver Canucks. And what else I go nose deep into? This podcast here, Locked On Canucks. Yeah, what were you going to say?
Flowers, man. You know, that's what I do, man. When I pick up flowers for my girlfriend, I smell every single petal, not just the flower, every single petal.